I have two questions. One question has to do with, okay, somebody said we shouldn't, the fasting business, eating at a certain times, maybe not eating after 6:30. But what if you get up in the middle of the night, and you're really, really thirsty? And also if you need to take, like, for example, let's say I take one of these activated charcoal pills in the morning, and I want to take another one at night. Is there a certain time when you should not be doing this? That's one question. The other question is about magnets. I used to wear mag steps that were magnetic devices. They were selling them also for sitting. They were pads that you could sit on, and or you could even buy something to put in your bed as well. I'm wondering if the mag steps, if the magnetic devices are of any use anymore. So those are my two questions.
I'll answer about the mag step, at least. I don't know about the beds, but on the mag step, there was data that was published that I actually reviewed a long time ago, looking at peripheral neuropathy of the feet. And there was a slight benefit in improvement of pain and the numbness. Now, it didn't reverse disease, didn't cure the condition, but it was something that was very simple. It was about depolarization of the cells in the feet, and it was having a little bit of this effect at giving them some pain relief with neuropathy. Outside of that, I can't answer that.
I can share one thing. Basically, when you stick a magnet on the body, your immune system is going to respond because there's a powerful field there that is not naturally there. So it's going to send resources to the site where the magnets are, and you're going to get in, and it's going to provoke an immune response. So it's going to clean up a lot of things that are going on there. But the problem with the magnets is once the body recognizes, say, well, it's not harming me, it's not doing anything, then it loses any value whatsoever, because as long as it's not provoking or an immune response, there's not going to be any benefit. This is the studies that were done with the Army and the Veterans Administration.
Benny, would you like to ask a question, and where are you from?
How do I unmute it here?
You're unmuted, Benny.
Oh, thank you. From California. I wanted to ask David, I'm a cacaoholic, and I'm trying to find bulk organic cacao beans. I've been told beans advertised even as organic, especially from certain countries, may contain bad chemicals. Do you have any advice on that? And regarding plant-based, what percentage raw versus cooked do you suggest?
Great. Okay. I've been a cacao grower for 20 years. And so we've seen all the problems with the cacao industry, in particular, the way the beans are fermented, and they're just it's kind of a runaway ferment in most tropical locations. In Hawaii, you can't really do that. It has to be a controlled ferment because it's not hot enough. Hawaii is one of the coolest climates in the world you can grow cacao. And so we have to ferment in a controlled fashion. A lot of times we use champagne yeast or something like that. But then eventually we just realized we don't even want to do that at all. We just freeze dry the cacao beans. And then you get something that's really exceptional, because the freeze-dried cacao has the pop and the crunch, it's like a real crunch. I can't even, it's hard to even get that anywhere. Maybe a good quality almond, you get that sometimes. And so that's really what I recommend. Now, that's a product we produce, certified organic and certified biodynamic as well. One of the only certified organic chocolate growers in America, and certified biodynamic chocolate growers and vanilla growers, and on and on and on with many other things that we do on that farm. So, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I do as the best I can to, if I have to get chocolate or cacao beans in from the Big Island, which are right here, there's some right there, or if I'm getting cacao beans in from Peru or Ecuador, we really have to do a microbe check on the quality, because they're, again, contaminated with mold due to the fact that it's just a runaway ferment. And typically well, eventually I had to depend on Picari. Picari is a particular operation out of Ecuador that they do a hydrogen peroxide cleanup on their beans. And so that's really, what we did a lot of chocolate production with their beans, and was really phenomenal raw material. In fact, their material was so clean, the cacao bean. So just for everybody who is looking at this going, what's a cacao bean? This is the food that all chocolate is made out of right here. This little nut right there. You can see that. And if I peel the skin off, you can see the chocolate on the inside. These are a little rough. I hope I don't tear it apart. I kind of tore it apart. But anyway, there's the cacao on the inside there. This one's a little bit purpley. They usually are. And the chocolate on the inside usually has to be you have to peel that skin off in order to grind this nut on the inside. So chocolate really actually is a nut butter, and it's a nut butter that's had things added to it like coconut sugar or vanilla or lecithin or something of that nature. And it solidifies at a certain temperature around 78 degrees. Therefore, most nut butters you see are actually really very similar to the way they're made is very similar to the way that they make chocolate. We were able to, with Picari's beans, grind the actual skin on the outside into the chocolate, which is a very rare phenomenon, and no other chocolate company was doing it because they had no microbials that were low enough to allow that to happen, because almost all chocolate, 99% or more, is processed in the country of origin. So for example, they'll grind it right there in Belize, or they'll grind it in Mexico, or they'll grind it in Peru or Ecuador or West Africa or anywhere like that. So that's a little bit about the background of cacao. We finally figured out the way to do it, which is you basically freeze dry it instantly. You open the chocolate up, you right into the freeze dryer, freeze dried, instantly packaged, vacuum packed. That's it. And that product is our Noni Land cacao beans. And unfortunately I'm sold out of that right now, and I'm probably going to have to go back to Hawaii to make more. So it'll be a few months. What percentage of your diet should be raw or cooked? That's really up to you. It just really depends. I like to get the predominance of my calories from raw foods. That's a way of thinking about it. It's a little bit easier to understand it that way. So you're getting more calories from raw foods. When you get more calories from cooked food, suddenly you get like, there starts to be some weight there, and you start going, wait, what's going on here? And then luckily when you fast, it comes off, which is nice. So that's how you monitor it, because the calories from the raw food is much easier to digest. It's the original food than when you get the calories from the potato or the sweet potato or the quinoa or whatever else that you might be eating.